situations and still make big plays.
And I mean, even just at the end of it, the way that these teams are actually playing out the team fights, to always use the maximum amount of their health without actually dying, you know, always knowing how to play their champions to the very, very limit is something that constantly impresses me.
And on top of that, on top of being effective, that is also extremely frustrating to play against if you're G2, right? Because you just keep thinking, they keep getting away with it. I was so close. Jat, to your point then, what are the things that we saw then that you liked, and how was Gen G able to counter it so effectively then?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of fights where G2 got away with little slivers of health as well, but I think they just had better initiation in a lot of situations. I thought Chovy got a big goal lead in this game, and it was a really good game for the Sylas. Like, yes, the pocket Lissandra is nice, but a Sylas with a Lissandra is a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
And in like this fight in particular, it just didn't start well for G2. You can see the Maokai is stuck on the wrong side of the fight. Another beautiful Sylas ultimate coming in when he steals Maokai. And Chovy being able to buy all that space. Think about it. He initiated the fight, he did most of the damage, then he became untargetable, and it allows them to just double team them with Doran at the end.
Well, yeah, and I think the positioning of Doran and Peanut in this was so critical, right? Because you have the stolen Maokai ultimate coming from one side, and G2 wants to step forward and attack the 3, but they can't because Jax will be into their backline at that point. So it's these multi-pronged attacks, it's the way that they're timing that attack, the way that they're timing their coordination, makes it so difficult for G2 to actually have any recourse in those fights.
And silently, Xayah could always get in the right position as well and tear through.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd like to talk a little bit about some of these picks, right? Because Hansama, you know, brought out the Ezreal. He was banned out on some of these aggressive picks, and he went completely the other way, right? It was the Kalista banned out, the Draven banned out. Historically, this has not really been one of his picks that he goes towards. You know, 9 and 14 all time. I never really think of that sort of Ezreal player. He also isn't really a big Zeri guy. There's some of these meta picks that he never really just picked up on, but he's so good at the picks that he really shines on. I just don't think that this is really one that suited their style, because one of the biggest things for G2 has been that aggression through bot lane, and I think they were kind of neutered in that way with this Ezreal pick. Yes, they brought up the Lissandra. That was cool. It was 2-0 for Mickey in the LEC against the Rakan as that counter pick matchup. But Xayah on the other side, 10-2 now. 10-2 in the group stage. That is a really, really crazy record. We've been seeing Kai'Sa and Xayah as the main 2 picks. Kai'Sa, even amongst the LPL and LCK teams, has been losing. Xayah has been dominating, and I really did feel that Gen G had the edge in the draft.
Hans played Xayah yesterday, and he was like, oh, this is strong. I don't know what you're talking about.
Not as good.
Well, let me play Ezreal. No. Just kidding, of course. But yeah, it is interesting to see, and I think this also goes to your point a little bit. They had a game plan, right? So they wanted to try something different. Of course, the Mickey Lissandra as a counter to the Rakan is a special on his part that we also see most recently in the LEC, so you can't really blame him for that.
No. I mean, I just think I would like a more aggressive pairing, you know, as far as the bot lane alongside it, because it just doesn't feel like you can really punish the Rakan that well with the Ezreal. I also feel like, you know, when you're playing this sort of a comp, I think they were trying to get pretty clever with how they're moving things around the map, you know, bringing this Tristana back towards mid, which hasn't really been a popular pick as an answer into that Sylas, but unless you're really playing very far ahead, I feel like it's really difficult into the matchups that you have. The Sylas is going to be really difficult in the late game, especially with good access to ultimates that he had. The Jax is going to outscale the Rekton. I feel like they had the advantage in the bot lane as well, so to me it was a really difficult draft to play out for G2 if they weren't crushing early.
Well, they picked blue side, so we actually get to see them run it back, so I'm wondering exactly what they're going to change. I really like Gen G's bans. Draven, Kalista, Orianna, super solid, and I don't know exactly where G2 is going to be able to pick up the changes. I think, honestly, trying to get a little bit more skirmishy, because they were a team that needed to set up like almost perfect team fights, and they got flanked again and again. So.
Yeah, the Sylas also, we're seeing it emerge now. Of course, it's always been, as long as I can remember in recent memory, a very strong pick. It's just that some of the others, like the Azir and like the Ori, have been so powerful. But I wonder if that's just going to sneak in a lot more.
I think part of it is the evolution of the draft phase, because generally speaking, today, Red Side hasn't been banning like the OPs. They've been target banning and opening things. Yeah. And Maokai was one of the champions that Sylas is really good against, because you get to see the Maokai ultimate. So the fact that Maokai went through made the Sylas stronger. So I think if we keep seeing stuff like that, then the Sylas will stay. But if they start banning Maokai again, Sylas will stay.
Speaking of Maokai, in our latest episode of Oppo, Welcome to the Rift, we talked to G2's Yike about his debut at the World Championship.
Hello guys, this is GT Guy. This is my debut at work. I always been to work at work, and since I was a kid, I think it was very hard. So when I joined G2, I was extremely confident. They made me very confident, and now we qualified for Worlds, and my dream is becoming true. watching every year all the best players in the world play against each other. It feels like surreal for me to just be here and participate in this. I think my biggest advice would be to just keep sticking to your own game. I think you have to believe in yourself, and that's something I realized in the last years. That I believe in myself. I play my own game. So I know I'm good at it. I will get fun.
Bringing in a new roommate to save money, is that the plan?
Say hi to Glenn from work.
Yeah, I think I have a much better plan. We switched to my plan from Verizon.
That is a good plan. Glenn?
Get my plan starting at just $25 when you bring your own phones. Plus, save when you add perks like the Disney Bundle. It's your Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Yeah, we talking about the grind. It could be a song. It could be a song. So relax.
connect, and first blood! Thinking about just staying here. There's a counter-strike. The flash finds everyone from Doran, and now Chovy's looking to answer. Doran, you absolute beast!
I'm moving. Oh, I would see coming. Yeah, looks decent actually. Yeah. Nice!
Finds himself in Nature's Grasp, gets rid of it immediately as the chains are not going to connect the rocket jump just to buffer, so the CC's going to be there, and in goes Delight, finds the angle this time around, and Caps is dead already. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for game number 2. Gen.G taking game 1, but G2 ready to answer back. And if our first series was anything to go by, we are going to the distance. That's how it goes. 6 games.
Sounds
Six
good
games,
to me.
right?
Now, G2, red side, they're going to have some crazy Broken Blade counter pick. We got the Mickey version. Now we're going to get the Broken Blade version. Some Kled, some Swain. What do we got in the cooking up here?
Yeah.
G2, this team, when they're at their best, they do have all these really, really creative picks.
That's true, and the first one...
Blue side.
Yeah.
I was about to get into that.
Yeah. G2 on blue side once again. Gen.G not going to have a chance to play on there if they manage to win here. Do have selection if they lose. Poppy and Vi both taken away. Peanuts champion ball getting attacked. And you can see that once again it is the Orianna and the Draven taken away. See the Callista if we want to run back off the last bans. There it is. Now Broken Blade, what is he going to pick up? Because that is a Silas ban and a Maokai first pick. I love it.
Yeah, it's got to be the moment that you know that Chovy is going to R3 Silas again and just have a better Maokai ultimate the entire game. Makes that pick a lot safer. Obviously still very strong. It does also mean that Haze of the Light gets Zyra Khan again.
Do they just do it again?
I don't... Oh,
you never do.
There we go.
Okay.
We get Lucian here. Yes, let's go. And the Nautilus lock-in instantly here from G2. They had not one, but 2 ideas for how to give over Zyra Khan to Gen.G. Whoa, that is bold.
That's one way to do it. And of course, you can attack them in the early stages of the game. There is going to be Peanut locking away the Rel. And that's going to keep things a bit open as far as these solo lanes are concerned for Gen.G. Bans to come through now.
Man, yeah, that is massive. But the Rel locking here, I mean, Rel Rakan is some of the best engaged in the entire game. We saw so much of it just ruling playoffs. Especially if you have a Lucian on your team, short-range champion, relies on dashes. You cannot dash when the Light's Rakan and Peanuts Rel are coming for your head. It is going to make the game so hard to play.
Also, wouldn't be surprised if Gen.G end up giving counterpick over to Chovy. I think with the fact that G2 are very clearly going to be playing towards this bot side, if G2 are also able to again get a priority lane for Caps like the last time, right, with him being able to push in early, if he can then roam towards bot, they can set up early dives and completely eliminate Haze from the game. It could be an angle towards victory. If Gen.G is going to be able to find a matchup here that allows Chovy to still have bot lane impact.
And he could take the Lucian into the mid lane here for Caps. Him or Hansama could pilot the champion. So they have a Maokai jungle. You can always have, you know, AD mid lane there if Caps likes the Lucian look for himself.
Top?
Yeah,
or top.
I was going to say, you could also have Senna come in at B4, and then you've got Senna Maokai on the bottom side of the map, and we don't know where anyone's going. But let's just, we'll address that
jungle,
if we get
just
there.
saying.
There's plenty of
Not good, but...
Yeah. What about on the other side? What about top lane Rakan, guys? It is going to be Jack's banned away here. Doran getting the respect that he absolutely deserved. Even though the cannons were a problem, the winning the game was absolutely fine.
Got to be Cassante, right? Would be my expectation.
Tristana
here.
is another thing that they might want to pick away, potentially. But we'll see what they decide to do. Is
okay,
yeah, blind to Kali is probably what I do.
Never mind, he doesn't care about bot lane impact early. Good luck with that one.
Well, I mean, theoretically still impossible. Doran picks a flex in
Not
theory.
impossible.
Ninja battle in mid lane perhaps. But be a flex. Expecting solo lanes, but it's G2, so never really. Sunday going to be the first one. Now we're expecting Caps block.
Do they want to do another double AD carry, though? All right. Not this time. They've had enough.
I do really like the Talia, though, is one of the picks that can actually play towards the bot side and have a really big impact. We've seen BDD, Chovy, Yagao all play that style where you use the Weavers well offensively to ensure that your bot lane can get the support or that they need.
Plus, it's theoretically very good against the Kali and Rakan and Rel with the rock field.
And Aatrox.
Sometimes that can be hard to put into practice, but he also has a Maokai and a Nautilus on his team. So it should actually come to fruition there where you have so much setup to be able to guarantee seismic shoves as well. So I want to see Caps working with that Maokai guaranteed route to guarantee your seismic shoves, or with the Nautilus doing the same.
And even if it doesn't end up working out, I think G should make the right call. We saw the game against D+. Bot lane, Cryo, and the way that Hans and Mika were able to play out the early game was one of the big reasons why, up until the Baron, it really did look like D+ had nothing to say at all in this game. We know that Gen G, especially when it comes to teamfights, can be relying on pace to consistently output the damage.
Once again, one of those times where Gen G have decided that frontline is overrated and they'd like to just do damage, pick cool champions, and have a great time. I think that on G2 side, they have a lot of utility.
Oh no, I saw 369 Aatrox. It looked pretty frontline.
That was pretty tanky, that's a good point.
The healing and shielding of the Gore Drinker Sterix build can definitely do some work there as well. Man, I'm excited though. We get a Lucian here at Worlds, coming in hot. See if they can push us to game number 3.
Anything that's not Xayah versus Kai'Sa, I am absolutely down with, Kobe, but it is time, ladies and gentlemen, let's get onto the Rift. For the second time this series, G2 against the ropes, but of course, they've got another shot. Even if they lose here, Gen G will be given birth into the knockout stage to join JDG.
I'm still kind of reeling from having 2 draft plans of giving over Xayah Rakan. But if they can pull it off, that will be massive, massive, massive for the entire tournament. And here we go, Mickey leading the way on the Nautilus, looking for any early flash advantages they can get. Hansama does get the ward over onto the blue buff as well. So they'll be able to suss out the peanut start.
Yep. Chovy taking a 2 rocks. So some pebbles to the back of the head for the Akali. And he's taking the fleet footwork. He should be absolutely fine in this lane. Caps on the Talia will have the push advantage, and priority in mid lane is something that we like to talk about almost too much because it is so very important.
And it's pretty easy when there's an Akali lane because pre-6, that's going to be non-existent for the Akali side, and Caps see what they can do with it.
It is really remarkable though, because Chovy for so long has been a player that was about lane above all else. And he's gone for Akali twice, and really got pummeled. And in the last game, basically did the same thing. Blinding Silas, getting punished by the Tristana.
Oh,
as the hook.
Yeah, hook gonna connect onto the line here. And with the heal from the Gleaming Quill, just looks like it's an even trade.
I think at the very least versus the T1 match, they definitely learned not to fight around the level 4 Akali.
Or the hook. Second time could be the charm. They get the cleanse out from Pays already in July, down to sub 50% still. Mickey X taking a fair bit of damage here as Hansama also pretty low. What happened in this mid lane? This cat is very has been damaged.
Making it spicy here. We could have a jungler wrap around. Currently, Yike on the Maokai here is looking towards bottom side. And if you know you're going into it, you're picking this Lucian as Yike will get clipped by some vision there on the ward, I believe, allowing Peanut to come down and try and stop this possible dive.
Yeah, Peanut gonna spot him here as well towards that tri-brush. As you can see, another hook gonna hit a minion. Oh, even got the observers on that one. I like to see it. That means it's a very close one. If the observers are also thrown off. Chovy now gonna have to deal with this one. Has to flash. There's the twisted advance as Yike pushes Chovy back. This could be another first blood as the sapling's gonna be there, but it's not quite enough. G2, they get the flash out of Chovy this early on. Absolutely fantastic.
And a huge chunk of damage as well. See what they can actually do with it. You mentioned the mid push and the roams from Caps. Maybe they can actually affect that bottom lane. So much kind of hinging on this bottom side champ select. Mickey and Hansama continually going into the brush to try and get these angles.
It's the grand entrance. Mickey has a bit of a plan.
They want to stop that crash.
Now the re-engage opportunity. They get the light. The light says that's fine. Still busy flying through. Picking a bit of damage, but even trade once again here on this bottom side.
Yeah, they got the Ignite down as well. And Caps is going to finish up pushing that mid lane. So it looks like Gen G will be fine here.
Still haven't gotten the quest just yet.
Another hook. Going to connect here from Mickey X, but he's going to get knocked up this time around. Delight is extraordinarily low. He's going to have to flash, and there it is. The Light Slinger from Hansama will get first blood in the 2v2.
And Caps with that mid push was coming down. He's spotted on the ward here, so Paige should know and back off. But my goodness, the Lucian Nautilus pick actually pays off. They get their first blood.
And particularly with the PTA, right, the amount of early damage that you can output can be very, very surprising. Gen G is so desperate to try and get that crash that they give over an early lead to the bot lane of G2.
And they needed every last little bit of damage. It was the second shot of the Lucian passive that just barely flipped that kill and got to life.
BB taking a bit of damage here towards his top side, but he has teleport still available. Doran going to be able to get himself the crash, and he should be feeling just fine. Careful with the CS numbers. Looks like Sante is absolutely all right. Do want to remind everyone that this is in fact our featured matchup presented by Mercedes-Benz. Caps versus Chovy. Check out this replay on this bottom side. See Hansama.
All right, Mickey with the initial hook. Then they tried to turn it back around on him. Delight with the W and both supports flashing out, but Mickey with the extra 100 HP. Meanwhile, the last shot does take down Delight. I want to point out that our scoreboard needs a little refresh here, so if we could just drop that back down. Some fishy scoreboard work going on here, where they only handed out 1 assist, no deaths, and no kills.
Hansama has a kill, don't you worry.
What is really I've never seen that one before.
Well, yeah, some weird calculations going on where we've got an assist, but where did it come from?
Often you see like there's a death, but there's no kill. At the top of the screen is Chovy, looks for the angle, but Yike is here. Seismic shove to push him away. He does have ult 2 still available, and now we've got to fight towards the bottom side. Peanut looking to help out his bottom lane. Mickey X in trouble, and he's going to be taken down. That is not first blood. That is in fact the second kill of the game. As Pays going to be able to collect that one.
So you got some LCK observers trying to rewrite history here. I see what's going on.
Be careful, Kobe.
I see what's going on here. Don't worry, Europe. I got your back.
Yeah, they can't believe it. There's no way that happens in the 2v2. It's Delight not going to find the Gleaming Quill onto Hansama, standing his ground just fine against the Lovers duo.
And to give credit to G2, I think that with this setup, you also identify one of the few weaknesses that Gen G has had consistently, which is specifically the laning phase of Pays and Delight. Once you get out of lane, I think they are, without a shadow of a doubt, the strongest bot lane that we have within the LCK. But it's not the first time that we've seen them fumble a little bit in the early laning phase.
Well, Peanut is just going to come on over and smite.
Not the penguin!
Yeah, that's his happy penguin. That's what he does every single time. You have to get used to it. Peanut is probably our biggest emoter in the LCK. Although it used to be Showmaker. He's lost a bit of his pizzazz on that front. So, going to be able to steal that one away. Not the end of the world here for Yike.
Peanut has had such an amazing year. Big advantage for him as he's been able to finish up his top side here. Doran, it's been pretty quiet on top side, but he's also going to be able to push out. Let's take a look at the replay, though. This was the equalizer. Peanut, as we're talking about him, comes in, able to get the kill back here for Paige. Set him up, and as we move forward, so much weight is going to be on the shoulders of Delight and Peanut. This initiation for Gen G. They've been so good in tandem as a pairing when they get to move together.
Yeah. Chovy, of course, spotting out Caps there, so the wall not going to come through. I think he does know he's unseen. He's got a wall right now, but still, he's probably just going to have to settle with a bit of a shove. Themselves out. First Drake is going to be that Cloud, and the Herald is going to be spawning in about 5 seconds time as well, so it could be the next place to pay your attention. Chovy has a big lead when it comes to the farm, and it just shows that Caps has been looking for these angles elsewhere.
I was about to say, even with the early gank, Chovy almost dying, he's been able to maintain almost 10 CS per minute on the Akali here. Impressive stuff. And we saw yesterday, or I think it was, yesterday, with Swiss especially, we've had a lot of games where Chovy fell behind pretty substantially early. And
he was on average behind about 9 CS or something like that. We saw that in that comparison as Delight wanting to find an angle here. You can see he's looking for something. Peanut a little bit too far away. And now Chovy finding the 5-point strike, has the Shroud in hand, but is now going to use it. Yike is moving in, and the seismic shove going to be just barely avoided. Nicely done. Still, Peanut now looking for an opportunity. Yike not liking the 2v2 by the looks of things. Also not liking the fact that it's Peanut is going to face check the rush.
Aha, free for strike money.
Let's see. Most important, he just doesn't care.
Okay, he actually doesn't care. He didn't even
he didn't even look at it.
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie. I think like if there's any flex for a player in top lane, that's it.
That is nutty.
Yeah, but that's not good.
No, it's not. No.
Is it? Did you see last game?
It's free money.
It kind of worked out.
Well, I'm not worried about Doran's mantle. Don't get me wrong. But that's free money you leave on the table.
Yeah, and he's saying, I don't need this. He's throwing it away.
Yeah, but that's bad.
Throw that money in the dirt.
You do need this. You want the money.
Do you know what the only money that he cares about is? That 50 gold inside the Nexus. That's the one that he cares about. And he's going to see whether he can collect that one. Gen G only ahead by a little bit of gold because Doran keeps giving up these cannon minions. There's a hook that's going to connect. And the flick back as well. Chovy not dead just yet, but he has to flash. The Weaver's Wall comes down. Chovy's still alive for so long. He ults to get himself into the fog of war. And now Mickey X doesn't have a lot of damage. The flash comes through. He's got the blast code. But the hook lands and Mickey takes down the mid laner in Gen G.
Oh my, Mickey's able to land it. He's got no mana left after that though. So Yike's gonna get chased down and he pays the price.
There's the Magnet Storm. That is going to be the kill going over to Doran, and it should also follow up with that Rift Herald. Now Pays versus Hans Sama. Not exactly best moment here for Pays potentially, but we'll see how it is going to go as he's shoving this way forward. The culling just going to do a bit of damage, soften up the Xayah. He's going to get to safety.
Really big there because I think that might have been the window for G2, right? The moment Chovy goes down, even though he has CP, death timer is quite a while. As Face might be in some trouble here. Cancel on the light.
Not going to be able to get himself to blast crash. That means that he's not going to be able to get in to help out Pays. Mickey looking for the dive. There is a big wave here still. Featherstorm is at the ready, and this is a dangerous dive to go for. 2v1. They are going to think better.
Yep, no ult for Mickey. Used it in the play on the top side. No ignite for him either. Means that Gen G, not only is Pays going to be fine there, clear out the minions, but he's going to come over and add the DPS to finish up their dragon.
And I love the setup here from G2, right? They have the vision control. Chovy completely disrespects the lack of control that Gen G has, and they're able to actually get the kill. But because Gen G, on the end of this play, is able to still get the Herald, this heroic play from Mickey, both starting off on Chovy and then actually being able to take him down, doesn't actually end up being a big difference maker. Just the back right there for Broken Blade. He's able to join the play, so Gen G still able to find the pick.
Yeah, Doran with the push on the top side comes on down.
And Yike also just going to give Chovy the thumbs up. He's like, I know you want to pad those CS stats. Nicely done. Certainly did that. And speaking of which, he is 20 dead. He's
They're well padded.
I was worried. And still, even though Doran has missed a large amount of cannons, he is in a very good spot. He has head of Broken Blade towards the top side of the map.
That's kind of weird. Broken Blade, why do you actually try for that cannon?
Yeah, top laners don't need them.
Did you hear? Yeah, Doran's got the new strat.
I'm not in on this joke. It's better.
Yeah, they do. But it's better for my mental, because it really bothers me when they just go wide. And it has just looked like he hasn't cared at all.
Of all the costs, we should know that Doran is a bit of an enigma as Cavs.
Yeah, that is very, very true. Chovy not going to dive back over the rocks, which would hurt a fair bit. That shuriken backflip. And Doran is going to collect himself a plate. Certainly liking that one as Broken Blade for an opportunity. The Infernal Chain's going to stop that. Q3 not going to connect. Doran, with his core drinker, feeling pretty happy.
Weird, because he cares about all other sources of gold.
Yeah, right.
Hills, all the other kinds of minions, tower plays.
Seismic shove not going to hit. Chovy is going to land a backflip though as Cap's in trouble and Chovy's going to lock him down. Perfect execution gets him back to the minion wave.
And the ultimate.
Oh no.
He got Cap's flash as well to be a Kali passive auto attack. Chovy got it off. That is really rough for G2. Not only do they lose their mid laner, it's a Rift Herald put up in mid. Yike already used it as well. That thing's going to crash. Chovy's going to get even more fed on this Akali.
And he got the cannon.
Oh, and now Peanut is making his way towards Broken Blade. There's the stun, but he does get a bit of a pushback. Can he actually find an opportunity? But Peanut is 2 tanking the last auto attack from the turret. He's not going to connect, and he calculated it, I guess. Broken Blade goes back and collects himself his frozen fist. He's going to see whether he can be that frontline for G2 as Hans Sama looking for an opportunity here towards the bottom side. It's a bouncy castle provided by Mickey. Genji are just going to back away.
One big problem with so much attention being paid towards the top side of the map and it not quite working out is that the Genji bot lane actually is feeling quite fine. Do take another unfun amount of damage. But when you look at the CS, still able to maintain it.
It's a jump scare. That's going to be the knock-up with the Q2. There's a flash Q3 as Caps is going to find the seismic shove, and can he keep this Aatrox at bay? He's going to have... Oh, doesn't get the knock-up in time, and the teleport is going to be blown to make sure that Caps survives.
Nice little evasive maneuvers there from Caps. Gets the seismic shove and then goes into the brush to try and drop vision and allow himself to ult out. And he was going to be fine, but Broken Blade already used teleport up to top side anyway.
Gets the flash as well. So Doran actually not going to have quite the same amount of backline access. We do see, though, as mentioned, that although Hans Sama and Mickey were able to get a slight lead, Chovy somehow came out of this lane unscathed, and Doran, having been mostly left alone, was able to build this big a gold lead.
I'm a believer. The anti-cannon strat.
Yeah, it's working. Look at that money. Must have come from somewhere.
Biggest lane lead in the entire game. We get another look at it. And of course, Chovy had the Q. The end of the Q, the 5-point strike finishes him off, even with the flash there from Caps. And you know the end of this story as well, as Peanut came in. And Peanut was taking the tower. Calculated, though, no problem for him.
Caps is dead in the bottom lane. We're going to need to go back and do another replay in order to find out how the heck that's done. But this is starting to go bad worse here as Genji move towards a 2,000 gold lead. Next break going to be that Ocean. I think Mike down to about 36 for the tournament.
So we're keeping track of cannons, we're keeping track of oceans.
We're trying not to keep track of cannons, to be perfectly honest. It only makes people depressed, Chronicler.
Hans.
Yeah, he's getting chased down here by Peanut and Delight. He finds the W, but he's able to move himself out of the way.
Again, those two on the Rel duo of flashes for their trouble. Genji are just snowballing this one kind of out of control.
And this is something that I have to really give Genji credit for, and that I think makes him so hard to play into. Got it.
He got a cannon. He did. He invested a Q2 for it. And he even moved back with his Umbral Dash and didn't hit Broken Blade.
Taking into account that, I'm still firmly of the belief that there should not be a Delight on Rakan ever. As Peanut, the main reason why I want to make this point is because Peanut got what, like out of these two games, like 8 chances to stand against him in total, and he's still 100% kill participation on the realm, making things happen left and right as Chovy.
He's in trouble. He's going to ult just to try and get that ult to Prime. Can he get over anything? The answer is no. He's going to be able to at least use it, but Hans Sama grabs that kill. And now the all-out's going to be used here by Broken Blade to try and get himself out of here, but it's not going to work out. The CC duo will bear down on him. That is going to be enough. But it's a 1-for-1 across the map here, and it does mean that the train goes into the hands of G2.
Exactly. Considering that G2, their position and how far they were behind, pretty good for them to be able to get the shutdown kill onto Chovy Zakali, even though they sacrificed offside again. Broken Blade going down, plus the Herald, plus the tower up there. They're able to equalize it here for Caps.
Yep, and the goal difference provided by AWS showing us that things going a little bit worse than the previous game for G2. But I think that with the fact that there's no better Maokai ultimate, things like that, maybe there's some possibilities. Caps is now in trouble once again. Chovy's angry. They ganged up on him before. The wall is going to be used, and Caps is even only going to ride half of it because he likes to look at the minion wave. He will be A-okay.
Still another cooldown for us, although the teleport, not the worst of trades, as Akali can be notoriously slippery. There are diminishing returns on that, and G2 have more than enough tools.
That's why they brought 4 people, and Maokai ulted towards the tower, so he had nowhere to go back to. Meanwhile, the answer play.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. I imagine BB was trying to push out the wave so that there was no dive possible. Should know that the counterplay is coming across, given how heavy the investment of G2 is towards the bot side of the map, but doesn't actually get it. Is surprised by Doran of the brush and ends up getting taken down.
Peanut hurting G2 right now as there is the Magnus Storm. Delight dives in as well, and everyone's charged. The grand entrance is massive. Hansama just deleted from the rift, and now Chovy just waiting for that blast going, and he follows Caps. Can he find the angle is the question. The ulter's not going to get there. Perfect execution, not exactly named correctly in that moment. So Gen.G still come away ahead.
These Rakan Rel engages. Oh, it is so beautiful. So hard to get away from. The light initially. Chovy's actually still poking around here. He wants more. He wants to help out Rift Herald, and Rift Herald's getting in there. The tower's down. Gen.G, they're not done. Doran's behind. Tier 2.
The world ender has been popped. Doran is just trying to get them out of here as Peanut dives over. Okay, there's the shattering strike as he gets crashed down upon does Mickey. Throws out the ultimate. That's going to be the answer, but it's not going to save this inner turret. And like Baron hasn't even spawned yet, and they are pushing them away from their inners.
And all they get in return is a topside turret. It's not feeling great.
However, they do get it.
Yeah, they also got the caps, but that's not what I'm focusing on, okay? The big thing here is that because of how aggressive Gen.G is playing, G2 never ever gets the setup to play Kobe. You were talking about it, that engage power for Peanut and the Light is so hard to play into.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of my favorite combos in the game because it's so good at team fighting. You saw there, either one can actually start it out. This time around it was Peanut, and then Delight followed up, but Chovy wanted a little bit more there. He gets the flash burn from Caps as well. They're just constantly going at this Taliyah. Burning Caps' flash, going after kills. Hansama's next. He's able to get away this time around, though, just dashes over to his rest of his teammates.
He was charging the Hex Flash. They are going to look for a little bit of an angle, but with Baron now 20 seconds away is where you're going to need to be. And it's Infernal Rift as well, so everything is opened up as far as that Baron pit is concerned. So Yike going to collect the blue buff. So I'm going to grab one as well. And we're going to see where the next attack is going to take place. 4,000 gold the lead for Gen.G. Surmountable, perhaps, but still, it's going to be a very, very tough one here for G2.
Playing Maokai on Infernal Rift also always feels a little bit sad.
Yeah.
Let's brush.
Like, where are my choke points?
Where are my choke points? Where is my Ocean Rift? Where are my sapling spots? They're not there.
Yeah.
Which thematically, I gotta say, do kind of like that, you know?
Yeah, kudos.
Agree.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the thematic consistency in the video game. Big League of Legends is
I mean, from this point,
Yeah.
from this point on, it's just so hard for G2 because they're really, really going to get outscaled. They do not have any really good end game characters drafted here. It was a lot on, trying to snowball with a Lucian lane mid, with a roaming mid laner there, or with a Lucian lane bottom and a roaming mid from Caps here with the Taliyah. If that gets behind, like, you're not going to be able to team fight your way out of this, and you're also not going to be able to split your way out of it because Chovy Sakali rules the side lanes, as does Doran here. As Gen.G, they can both push out side lanes, get themselves priority on these objectives and set up the 5-on-5, and then have advantage in the 5.
And even though Hans is either targeting differently, like, how is it actually supposed to team fight against an Akali that's going to try and jump on top of it? Peanut, who on the Rel has still 100 participation, continuously goes in, double Radiant Virtue and the Light on Rakan. There's just so little space, you can only cleanse a single thing.
He's not. He's playing